Hello, everyone. Let's just wait for some friends to join, but welcome to Cauldron of Creativity Craft Along. I hope everybody is ready to have some mixed media fun. I'm just going to jump right in. So I'm going to be using the Arcane Impressions stamp set from Stamp Anniething as part of this. The Toil and Texture stamp set. Lots of fun techniques with this. I am going to be using the memory Dex dies as part of this craft along, and these amazing stamps have coordinating dies, even this background stamps. Hello, Karen. Hello, Trey. How are you guys? Thanks for joining. So yeah, those are what I'm going to be using from Stamp Anniething. And I believe the first number of people that purchased the set got this stamp block. So I'm going to use that. And then there's no real rhyme or reason today. It's just going to be kind of creating. I'm going to close my door. It's just going to be creating, having fun. I think that we put so much pressure on ourselves to have a finished product that we forget the importance to play. That's why we do what we do, why we make cards, why we do the memory decks, why we make albums, why we scrapbook. It's to have fun. And I think when we see so many people on social media sharing their amazing stuff, we kind of get imposter syndrome. Well, I'm not that good, but we are. Everybody is amazing. And that's what I love about mixed media. It's all about free play, having fun. There's no rules. Not that there is any rules in card making or scrapbooking or any of those things, but I think we like to put that pressure on ourselves, or we have that misconception that there's so many rules in this. This is just about having fun. There's no wrong outcome. Yours is going to look like yours. Mine is going to look like mine. So aside from the Stamp Anniething products, I just randomly picked some stencils. So I have like just some spooky or kind of autumnal stencils. So I just chose these three. And I have some tissue paper. We're going to do something really fun with that. I have some collage medium I'm going to use as part of this. And if you don't have that, if you have like Mod Podge, that works too. But again, don't feel like you have to have any or all of this stuff. What's going on?
I'm just sitting, so you can see all the comments on YouTube as well. So when you're watching, they can read them all.
All right. I am going to do some texture paste. I think I'm going to use either the opaque or the crackle. I love crackle. Hello, Annie. I'm glad you made it. Hello, Timothy. So yeah, I'll probably use some texture paste, some distress oxides, distress inks, distress sprays, the distress crayons. I'll probably use some of those, just anything, everything. Yeah, so I'm just going to kind of start with my process. Oh, and this is my biggest secret. I love this paper. It's the Strathmore Mixed Media. Hi, Katie. How are you? The Strathmore Mixed Media vellum surface. That's what makes a difference. It's a vellum surface. And you can just use anything. I just love this paper. I get it 15 sheets. I picked mine up at Michael's. In my area, that's the closest place I can actually pick it up. And of course, I can use a coupon, but, support your local art store or craft store if they carry carry this, but I love this stuff. It is so nice. So I cut out a few shapes in the memory decks, but then I just have random shapes. I have 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I have the leftover bits because nothing goes to waste. I have a 6 by 8, I think that is. Just some weird, these are 6 by 6s, a weird shape, just a whole pile of shapes. So that's what I did. And then I am also using what do you call this? The mixed media mat from Tim Holtz or Rain Tonic, I think makes it. It goes on top of your mixed media glass mat. I know if you have the little one that comes with the mat, that's great too. Mama X. Now, who is Mama X? In case I'm not sure who it is, I can see your comment. So this is gonna be a big help in creating as well. I just picked, these are actually from the dollar store. These are just some iridescent watercolors. I'm going to have some fun with that. So I think to start, if everybody's good, I want to start with my favorite technique, which I'm going to do a few of some texture pastes. So I'm just going to grab two of my sheets. And these are card front size, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. They don't have to be any particular size at all. I'm just going with 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I am going to grab some texture paste. So I have the opaque and transparent, but I think I'm going to just use the translucent crackle. And I'm going to leave the opaque for later. So I am just going to grab, actually, no, I am going to use the opaque as well because I want to show a fun technique. Hi, Jana. So this is the crackle paste translucent and a fun, I was bad the last time. The Jennifer McGuire taught this on her channel, YouTube channel. If you put press and seal over top, it'll prolong it. So I'm just going to grab one of my stencils. And I'm going to just use the same one. So this is just this. This was, I think, part of Stencil Club. Just a leaf stencil. And I'm going to put some texture paste. Now, I know when a lot of people... oh, hi, Maggie. When a lot of people use texture paste, they want to put it on the entire front of their piece, and that's okay, but I find it's more impactful when you have a little bit less, and it's not perfect. Less is more. So I'm just going to put a little dollop on, and I like to have it kind of just in one corner, and then I'm just going to blob it on in a few other areas, and I'm going to lift it off. So this is what I have here. So this one is just going to be plain crackle paste. And I'm going to grab another of the crackle paste. And I am going to just do the same thing. I'm going to go on the, just kind of do it here, there, and everywhere. But I find it helps when you have it coming off of one corner. Just don't overthink it. So for this one, I am going to grab some embossing powder. And I think I want to do, let's do some gold. If I can find my gold. Actually, I have this. Wow. This is an iridescent one. Do I want to do that, or let's do this tinsely one. And I'm just going to grab a little bit of it and just sprinkle it over top. This is an embossing powder. This is a silver. I'm going to just sprinkle this on. Okay. All right. So I'm just putting some of that on. I don't know if you can see that. And I'm just going to let it dry with this. I'm going to set these aside so I don't accidentally put my hand in them. Also, friends, don't let me forget that I did texture paste, because I wouldn't put it past myself either to completely forget I had texture paste. So I'm just going to clean my stencil because I want to do it with the opaque as well. Okay. All right, I'm going to grab another, and I'm just going to do one with the regular texture paste opaque. And this one is starting to get to the bottom of the container. I'm going to just do the same with this one as well. And I'm just sort of like icing a cake. And one thing I should mention when I do this, sometimes I like to just have it where there's a bit of texture as well. So you don't want it on super thick, but I don't know if you can see that. I like what that does sometimes too. Now, perhaps this is a little thick here, and I will just clean up my sides. And now for this one, I am going to I want to do some gold. If I can, I have some gold tinsel stuff. So let's just do that. I'm going to put it on a little thicker with this one. Okay. And I'm just going to let it, look at that. So I'm going to set this aside, and we're going to have some fun with that later. And I should mention, today is going to be, or this session is going to be more inking, and I'm going to do, the next session is going to be gel plate, because that is just a beast on its own. So I'm excited. I love gel plate, and that is going to be next week. Lena, you're fine, baby girl. So I'm just going to clean this stencil. I have a basin of water that I can just throw things into. You want to make sure you clean your stencils after texture paste, because they will dry all crusty and gross. All right, so yeah, I love the glitter. Okay, so let's do some ink swishing. Does anybody have any questions before I go on? Okay, so I'm going to just grab some of these pieces. We'll do one of these. And I just want to make sure, this is the biggest of the memory decks. I want to make sure it's going to fit if I die cut out. So let's go maybe with this guy here. So we'll ink blend that. I'm going to grab one of my already die cut pieces with that as well. We'll grab one of those. Yeah, so let's just start with these. All right, so I'm going to do one of my favorite techniques, and I'm going to let's just grab some colors. We got to have purple. I'm going to actually black, and this is just regular distress, and I'm going to use oxide as well. Where's my purple? We'll use Oxide, Villainous Potion. Gotta use, I absolutely love Salvage Patina. I'm gonna use that. And let's do some pink. Kitsch Flamingo. Oh, do we need... We'll stick with these ones for now. So we got to remember with... Yes, we're smooshing, Ann. So oxides... Hello, Brennan. Oxides are opaque, so you can kind of build on top of them, where regular distress is more transparent or translucent, so you can kind of see through it. So you can create mud more easily with this. But this also, I love this because you can ink blend on top of things and still see through it. Where if you would ink blend with Distress Oxide, you can literally cancel the colors out. A color that would normally make mud, you necessarily won't make mud with it. So let's start with, I'm going to go with the Salvage Patina. And actually, I want to do, I'll show you. I'm going to use, I thought I had a Salvage Patina. I do. Okay. We're going to do Salvage Patina in Distress Ink and Salvage Patina in Oxide. And you can see. So sometimes I like to do this when I am doing my backgrounds. I'll start with the the Distress, and I'm just putting it on my mixed media mat. And I want to do it until I start to see these little rain droplets. And I just smush it down a few times. And I have my precious, I've had this for as long as I've been crafting, like 12 years, this Heat It tool. And I'm just going to dry. And I love this little speckling. So I want that to dry right on there. And I have, where did my rag go? Don't tell Kevin I put it on his chair. I have my inky rag. And I'm just going to sop up what is on here. And I'm going to go again. And then just, I know I'm not going to use any more of this. I could use it with my other backgrounds, but sometimes I like just working on one background at a time. Hello, Melissa. How are you? Okay. So I'm just going to sop up what's left. And if anybody has questions, please just let me know, because sometimes I don't think what I think is straight, common knowledge, it might not be. So, and I'm kind of when I'm doing this, I'm all over the place. If you can't tell already, I get in the zone, I get excited, and I just forget. So if you have questions, please, please, please don't be afraid to ask. I'm going to do Salvage Patina Oxide now. So here is the close-up of this. So it's very subtle, which is important. And, oh, why did I put that up there? Let's just do a little lower. Okay, so Oxide, let's spritz, spritz, spritz. And you can see this is much more potent. Okay, let's dry. And I'm loving these speckles, so I'd like to keep those. And I'm drawing from behind. And actually, I'm going to let that sit. And I'm going to take another background. Let's just take this little mini memory Dex we already got cut or die cut out. And I'm just going to plop that on, and I'm going to set it aside to just dry on its own. And I am going to wipe this up. Okay. Okay, I'm going to just sop up what's left that's still wet. Okay. All right, and let's go with our next color. I think I want to do, let's do some villainous potion. Yeah, you want to build it up, and correct. You want to build your layers up slowly. You don't want to go in with you can, again, there's no rules. I personally don't like to go in with my strongest color first. I like to start with my lightest and think of color theory too, because you don't want to always make mud unless that's your intention. But I'll just slowly build up to my more potent color. Now I have an idea I want to do with this. So I'm going to leave that one for now. Put some villainous potion on my mat. Spritz it up. And we're going to just press this down. Get some at the top. I'm liking how that's looking. And I want to get some gooey drippage. That's cool. And sometimes if you want more, you can spritz, reactivate the ink. That's cool. I love that. I'm going to set this down a bit more so I can try and capture that. Look at how yummy that is looking. Okay, and I'm going to just grab my other one. I start to work on a couple of things at once. Just going to set that back aside to dry. Let's just take off the excess off of here. Anything that's wet, I'm going to set that aside. And let's grab another one of just our plain backgrounds. We don't want to waste any of this. I'm sure we can use it for something. I'm just going to wet it. Yeah, I love Villainous Potion. It's such a good purple. Hello, Michelle. How are you? You've never smooshed, Brennan? Oh, my gosh. We've got to change that. Okay. Okay. I am going to set that aside and come back. And sorry if I'm going at lightning speed. I'm getting, well, I am excited. I want to use this. And this is one of, I love doing. Let's actually, we're going to take a background. Just going to dry that off. And this necessarily won't show up, but I'm just going to do it because I want to do something. So I have my stencil I'm placing on Kitsch Flamingo. I'm going to get my blending brush. I have had these brushes for like 5 years, and I decided I should clean them a couple of months ago. It was the worst mistake I ever made because they get a nice buildup, and now I'm finding I have to really ink up a lot more to get it to do what I want. So I'm just going to do a bit of ink blending, and let's do a bit on the top corner here. Let's put it up here. Okay, so we have our ink blended background, which that's cool. It's fine. But I want to, it's too neat. So I want to ink it, or sorry, spray it with my water, Dispress water bottle spritzer. And I want to add actually more. I want this to drip more. And I'm going to set it in. Smooshing is so much fun. Eliza, random question. Do you and Kevin share supplies, or do you guys have your own? Oh, we share them, Eliza. There's some stories there. I am like, I've had to learn to let go of some things. All right, so I'm liking that better. I'm going to set that aside. Now this is something I love to do. And actually I want to get a bit more. I'm going to just take the pad directly to this stencil. Get it all inky. And I just want to clean that off. Okay, and then I am going to really get this nice where you can see the colors start to pool. And I am going to just set it down. I'm going to grab some paper towel and just hold it there for a second. Michelle, I only smooshed once when Brennan made me. Yeah, smooshing, I just absolutely love smooshing. Okay, I'm going to pick this up. And this may not be the best color too, but okay, yes. Can we see what that did? So it also reactivated the oxide underneath. So you get that oxide effect. You get the pooling of the color. Okay, I'm just going to hit this because I don't want to lose it. I love how that looks. It's building up lots of texture and layers. I love this. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. Look at that. Isn't that neat? Okay, and now look at this. We've got it picked up some of the colors from this. I'm going to take this little piece. Let's just get that a little wet again. And let's just set this down. Grab our paper towel. Okay. Let's see what we get. Okay, this one's a bit more subtle, but I think it might pop a bit more once we get it dry. There was already quite a bit of pink on here. Okay. All right. And I am going to take a Just let's grab this piece here. I'm just going to take what is left on it and just smoosh it down because I'm sure we will use this for something. That's kind of cool. And what's neat, I'm going to let that dry to the side. Let's clean this up. Okay. Let's take, I want to do that same technique, but I want to use, maybe we should add a green, something ooky spooky. Let's add maybe an orange. What do you guys think? Orange or green? Probably will get a bit of mud with either of them, but I'm honestly okay with that. Let me know. Because I want this to feel a little Halloween-y. I'm gonna have a drink. I'm gonna go over our background so we can kind of see what we've done. Brennan says green. He was the first one to answer, so let's go with it. Okay, I'm going to use, and this is just distress, so this isn't going to necessarily layer. It's more translucent, so let's just see what happens. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, I like. I'm going to hold it up so I get some pooling at the bottom. Okay. And we've got a little bit of this green. Youngest crafter always wins because may start crying if I don't get my way. If you use twisted citron would be, oh yeah, twisted citron would be nice. But yeah, I love that. And then this will dry back, getting more texture. So let's use what we have left on this stencil. On here, let's just put it on here. I don't want to waste. And you know, I'm kind of in the mood. I haven't really picked any traditional Halloween colors per se. So I'm kind of in the mood to do a non-traditional Halloween memory decks. I might not necessarily read Halloween right off the bat, but I think once we add our images. Okay. So here are our 3 backgrounds so far. So we've got this one I absolutely love. Got this one. And we've got this one. And then we have the start of this. I never thought to stamp with a stencil. Well, it's, you know, there's so many things you can even, let's go to our next on that subject. Let's grab another, let's grab a small piece. And I'm going to do, I know, Karen, what one did you say? I was twisted. I don't know. We'll go carved pumpkin. And let's do Twisted Citron and Villainous Potion. Let's do those ones. So let me just grab my ink or my blending brushes. So I need an orange. Okay, just lighter. That's the lighter one. Okay, put that back. All right, so I'm going to, let's do it in that order. So I'm going to start with some purple. Oh, good. It was twisted. Okay, so I'm going to start. Actually, you know what we can do? Let's just cheat a bit. Because I'm sure you guys don't want to be here all night. And then we'll cheat up here. This is Twisted Citron. I need a piece of... My hands are going to be disgusting by the end of this. Okay. Just going to... This is just taking my pad direct to paper. Okay. Sorry, I'll get this higher up on the screen in a second. It's just, okay. And let me just clean this up. Actually, instead of wasting it, we'll just pick it up with our scrap piece first. And then, okay. Now I'm going to use carved pumpkin. And we'll just blend the two. Okay. Go back to Villainous Potion. Lena. You're fine, Lena. Okay, and I messed up my Twisted Citron, but that will be fixed in a second. Just go load up my blending brush. And I'm not going to try and get a perfect blend here because, Michelle, we were talking about stamping using our stencil. Let's do that. And this works better when you have a stencil that maybe has a bit more of an open space. So I'm going to take this aside, mist it, and get it fairly saturated. So you can see the water droplets on there. And I am going to just set it down. Now, technically, I wish I would have moved it up just a smidge, but it's down. And we can't do anything about that. So let's just set it down. Like so. And while we're doing, we'll lift this up and look at this. Let's dry this. I'm gonna just hold this up, let it gravity do a little bit. Lena, you're fine. Kevin, if you're listening, can you come and take Thumbelina? Okay, so you get the almost a bleached effect, which is awesome. I'm going to just pick up what's left on there. Let's set that aside. We'll come back to it. I'm going to grab this background. And this is, let's just mist this to activate it. And let's put this. on here. And let's lift it up. Let it soak in a bit. Give it its time to do its thing. Ooh, I love. Look at that. I'm going to just let that dry. Love, love, love. And we have more. Let's, I am trying to decide. Do I want to put this on this one? Let's just throw this on and see what happens. Sometimes it's knowing when, no, I got to know when to stop. Let's just take another piece. This is why I like to have multiple pieces cut at a time. Nothing goes to waste. Okay. Okay, nothing really with that, but it's a layer. And one of the keys with, you know, doing this mixed media and making backgrounds is building up layer after layer. Okay. Now, this just made me think of another technique. So I'm going to grab one more sheet. And let's do, where did I put? Okay. So I am going to use my watercolor, and we'll do this bronzy kind of gold. I'm just going to get it, go in there and let the juices get flowing. Karen, I could do this all night. Yay! Julie, I need to get me some purple oxides. All the ones I have, no purple. I love the prints you're making. Yay, I'm so glad, Julie. Okay, so I'm going to take this, my iridescent watercolor. I'm just going to go over top, paint my stencil. And remember, these watercolors are just from the dollar store, iridescent. So not all your stuff. If you don't have all the goodies, that's okay. Okay. All right. So I am actually, you know what? Maybe it's easier to just pick it up. Yes, it's easier to do it that way. So, okay. So I've just put it on my mixed media mat. I don't like to waste this, but we're going to for this. So sheet down, I'm going to spritz this, really get my watercolors going. And I am going to set it down, grab a paper towel, and put that down. And then while that is stewing under there, I am going to, let's do actually this orange, the ripe persimmon. I'm going to grab that, and I am going to just ink blend. And try and soften. What I wish I would have done is not gone right to the bottom, but that's all right. This is just going to be, we're not going for perfect with our backgrounds, because we are going to be cutting these down, die cutting them. So I'm going to use, I use ripe persimmon. Hi, Joyce, how are you? And then I am going to grab, I'm going to do the rustic wilderness in just regular distress. And let's just ink that on. Okay. Okay. And let's lift this up. Hi, Betty. Okay, so this doesn't look like much yet, but I don't know if you can see it's iridescent. And this is the perfect layer so far. So I'm going to, this is so dirty, I'm going to just throw it in my bucket of water. Okay, I'm going to just spritz it.
She don't want to be with you.
No. Okay, and let's hit this with the heat tool. And I'm going to just pick up. I like that so much better. What did I miss? I think ours is $1.25. Is this watercolors? All right. So that's a pretty cool background that I think we'll do something fun with. Okay. So I think I want to, let's look at our backgrounds, and I'm going to set this aside. Okay. So when I've done some ink smooshing, I like to do ink blending. And with this piece, for instance, actually, let's start. Yeah, we'll go with this one. I'm going to go to my just regular distress because, like I said earlier, it is more translucent or transparent. So you can build on top of things. So I think what's calling me is I want to do, let's add some wilted violet first. And I got to make sure, so that's an oxide. Regular. Okay, so this is a regular. I'm going to go in with wilted violet, regular distress. Yes, we don't have Dollar Tree yet, Joyce, but I've heard rumors it's coming. So I like to go around the perimeter and just slowly build up. And what's cool and what it does, well, let's go here, for instance. It'll pick up and highlight the different effects that you've done. So it'll deepen. Bring out. We're going to slowly make this more ooky spooky, but pretty ooky spooky. I think this one's going to be a very cool background. So I'm just going around the perimeter. I want to bring down the white space of this a little bit. Okay. And now I'm going to go in with my salvaged patina. Do I have I thought I had that out. This is what happens. Oh, yeah, here we go. Salvaged patina, and I need the regular distress. So I'm going to take salvaged patina and just pick a few areas. And I'm just hitting the areas. All right. So once I've done this, I like to go in with my, here it is so far. I'll spritz it, just getting it to splatter. Okay, get some water on there. Let's just hit it with the heat tool. And I'm going to grab my rag here. Okay. So here is, you can see we've got almost like those little bleach watermarks. So this is when I like to go over it again. This is slowly building up the layers. So I'm going to just hit some of those areas with the salvage patina now. Yes, salvage patina is my absolute favorite distress color. Just think it's such a pretty... I love salvage patina, wilted violet, and twisted citron. I think those are my absolute faves. And then I want to go in with some of the wilted... Actually, let's do Villainous Potion. I want to start darkening this up, making it a little more spooky. So, but you can see what's happening here. You're getting the nice layers. And I'm not thinking, I'm just kind of letting my brush take it where it wants to go. But I'm also, I like when some of the corners are darker near the outer edges, almost like it's framing your piece. Okay, so we can see what we have got going on so far. Let's do another quick little spritzy. Just wanting the nice splatter. And if you're more comfortable doing it with your hands, flicking with your hands, do that. Let's just hit it with the heat tool to get this to activate. There. Okay. So I think what I want to do is I want to die cut this out. I want this to be my memory Dex background. But before I go any farther with this background, I got to do some cutting first. Because I want to know the perimeters, the edges of what I'm going to be ink blending. I just need to get this to straighten out a bit. It's a wee bit warped. You could totally create a paper pad. I'd buy some for sure. Ah, thanks, Timothy. I love doing backgrounds. Okay, so I want to use this big buddy here. And you know what? Sadly, it is just a bit too small, but it's the tabs. I think we can make it work because it's just going to cut off this tiniest bit of the tabs. Okay, so I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine. So I use this big guy. Ooh, and look at this. I love it. Now, sadly, the back side it's going to go like this because I'm going to fold it, but I don't want to fold it yet. So this is going to be at the back. So what we can do is take another one of our pieces and just cut this top portion. And I kind of like this one for the back. Or do I want to stick? You know what? Maybe I should stick in the same tonals. So I'm just going to cut this top portion out because I want to create one memory Dex and one card with you guys today. Okay. All right, so let's just take, and I'll cut, I'm gonna grab my trimmer. Where did that go? I literally have 2 inches of desk space to work on at the moment. Okay, I am going to just cut along a little bit above the perforated line here. Okay. So that this can be on the back of this, and then this will fold up. Perfect. Okay, let me just make some room here. Oh my God, I made a mess. Okay. So let's continue on. I'm going to go in with this. I love this. This is just tray. Same. You have like no desk space. So I'm going to go in with the Villainous Potion in Distress ink. And I want to go around the edges. Oops. It would help if I put it on the actual. And I'm just going to go around the perimeter. Already, I love it. Okay, and now the tabs. Let's just fold these suckers in because you're not going to see them. And I'm just going to continue. Okay, we're going to go around. Okay. Then I'm going to grab my Black Soot Distress ink. And I want to add some of that black in too. I want to create some value, some dark value here. This one's really juicy. So I got to be a little more cautious with this. Ooh, and I got a cool technique I want to share with you guys today. Show you how to make your own collage paper. So I think we'll do that next. So I'm just hitting not all of the areas. I'm just picking a few, hitting it with the black. Okay, and actually I think I want more. Just trust your intuition. Okay. All right, I'm liking that. It's getting more ooky spooky. It's kind of muddying it up, making it still pretty, but you know, a little more dark and sinister. Okay, now we've got that one. Let's do this one here. So I need to first clean this up. And you know what? Let's not waste any of this good stuff. Let's go back to this piece. We'll just pick it up. It's just muck and mud right now, but nothing fancy yet, but maybe we'll do something with that. Okay. I'm going to go back to this one. I think I want to do, let's go with the Rustic Wilderness first. Where's my dark green? Dark green, that's oxide. Oh, here. Okay. So I'm going to go around the perimeters with Rustic Wilderness. Pretty spooky. Janice, let's see. Oh, sorry, I missed a whole pile of comments here. I'm sorry if, let me just make sure nobody said anything. Oops, what did I do? Oh, I don't have enough. No, I can't. I can't go back on comments. Sorry if you guys asked something and I didn't see. So I'm going in around the edge, and don't worry. We've got to dirty this up and make it more scary. Okay, so That's cool. Love that. And now I'm going to go in with black soot. So that was rustic wilderness distress ink. Now black soot. Just going to darken. Okay. There. There, that looks more ooky spooky. And I think I'm going to take spritz, and we'll have to probably go over this one more time. Look at my fingers. They're starting to get bad. Where did I put my rag? Rag. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Actually, I kind of like that. I think that's good. And I think I need to do it to this one as well. Would make a great background for the wicked stamps. Yes, it would. Okay, let's just... Okay. So this is kind of my... I don't want to fold it yet because I want to get out the stamp sets. And let's see here. What do I want to... Sorry, I just got to make some space on my desk here. Oh, and do I want... Actually, maybe I want to use this one too. Yeah. Okay. All right, you know what we're going to do? I want to ooky spooky this one up too. Sorry. I'm going to go back with this green. Let's green this sucker. I think we're going to have 3 memory Dex cards. And then maybe we will have enough to make 1 card. Let's see. My Crafty Adventures. New here. I've been watching, but had to jump in and tell you how much I love that pink and green bag. Yay! I'm so glad you like it. And welcome. Okay. All right. That's pretty ooky spooky. I like it. Okay. There is just so many things I could share too, but there's just so little time. We are already an hour into this, so I've got to get moving here. So this is kind of what I'm thinking. This will be like it's going to be like a two-part memory Dex card. So it'll be when you're flipping through, this will be one, this will be the second part, and then in the back we're going to have a cool thing with a pocket. So you could memory keep on one, all that. So anyway, I'm getting too overstimulated here. I'm going to grab this stamp piece, or do I want the other one? Yeah, let's do this kind of netting. I'm going to put that on my stamp block if I can find it. Stamp block, where'd you go? Here. Okay. I'm just going to put that on my stamp block. And actually, I'm going to have to take that. Okay, so I think I want to do this. Do I want to do it in... Let's see what happens. What color do I want to do? I feel like a dark green might be cool. Pine needles. Yeah, let's do pine needles. So I'm going to use pine needles Distress Oxide, or do I want to do... We'll go with this. Let's just see what happens. This is part of play and having fun. Okay, so this is Pine Needles Distress Oxide, and I just want to add some texture. Okay, and let's use this little bit kind of right here. Okay, like it. Can we see what we've got? And let's just see whatever is left over. There we go. So we've got some cool texture. And this is from the Toil and Texture. Yeah, Toil and Texture stamp set. Now I'm going to just spritz it, break it up, get a little bleeding of the inks. Okay. Let's set that with your heat tool. Well, I'm glad you love the background, guys. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now, something I think this needs, I'm sure many of my crafty friends on here have been crafting for years. And I'm sure we all have perfect pearls. I just put a scoop of perfect pearls. Does this even have anything left in it? I think this one's empty. Let's just grab, let's do, what's this got? So I just put a little perfect pearls in a mini mister, and like literally the tiniest amount. And I am going to just create my own splatter. Okay. Can we see what that's done? Let's add, I'm going to set that with my heat tool. It's burlap. That's what it is. Thank you, Anne. I couldn't think of what the color. I was calling it netting, so like a burlap texture. All right. And this stuff is going to be hidden, part of it, by whatever we decide to put on here. So I am just going to soak up what's left. Okay. Set that aside for 1 second. I'm going to go back to that mini mister. Actually, you know what? I want to add some of that green on here as well. Or do I want a brown? I think this needs to be in a brown. I am going to use Vintage Photo, but I got to clean off the stamp. I'm just going to use a baby wipe. Okay. Okay. So this is just Vintage Photo Distress ink, regular distress. And I'm just going to, let's pop it off on the side. We'll do here. Yeah, I like that. And then whatever's left, let's just do at the top up here. And let's just go for 3. Perfect. And then I'm just going to spritz whatever. We'll see whatever we get. Let's just put it on. We get kind of a residual. That's kind of cool. Which makes me wonder, where is that really deep background? Where did I put that? I'm curious, kind of how we did the bleaching. Let's clean this thing off. Sorry, I'm jumping here. Let's spritz this. Let's see if we can get some cool. Yes. And let's just move this. And it'll have picked up ink and transferred it. Yes. Oh my. Love that. Okay, let's just spritz this again. That's pretty cool. Let's dry that and just see what happens. Let's see what we've done. We've used the stamp with no ink on it. Just wet it. And we've added another layer. Kind of have an idea for this. Maybe this one might be our card front. Who knows? So I'm going to set that aside, let that dry. Okay. Oops. Okay. Back to our regular scheduled. All right. So we've got our backgrounds. I'm going to put this back on the stamp set. And let's put these pieces, let's turn this into a memory deck. So I am going to glue, where is my glue? Okay, I'll probably just use this glue because I don't know where my other, so I'm just gonna glue, I haven't used this in ages. Okay, come on, glue. Okay, this, I need a glue. Oh, is this a, let's see here. Does this one work? Figures, I cannot find a freaking glue. Where did my glue? Oh, here. Duh. Okay. Oh no, is this clogged? I did not know my glue thing was, the lid wasn't on it. Shoot. Okay, let's see if I can unclog this. Welcome to the live. Yes, and that's what's so fun about doing these is oh, there we go. Is every layer adds that little bit of something. Just going to, technically this isn't the best tool, but I cannot find any of my glue tubes. Okay, let's just set that on and glue. So I'm going to glue this to the back. And this was just that I die cut out this piece twice. So we'll just glue this on, make sure it's lined up. I'm just going to grab a brayer, get this to make sure it's on. And then I'm going to use some score tape. Do I have my score tape? This is probably too wide, but I cannot find my smaller stuff. So I'm going to just put some score tape on these tabs. And for anybody that maybe doesn't know, or if you're watching this later, Janice is also known as Joyce. It's become an inside joke. If you're reading the comments and not fully getting what's going on. All right, so I'm going to pick this score tape off. This is going to be a heavy duty memory Dex. These slots. Ooh, look at that. I love that. Okay, and then our back. And then this is going to be, so look at, and we could do it two different ways. It could be this way, but I kind of like this because it reads as one. So when it's in your memory Dex, but as you flip it, but let me know, do you think it should be, this is the front and this would be in front of it, or have it matchy-matchy or not matchy? Let me know. Okay. So, while we are doing that, I'm going to just put some of these away because I am running out of space on here and I want to do another technique with you guys. So that's an oxide that goes there. Oops, here. Sorry, I'm just trying to get some of this stuff away. Okay, and that. Okay. Matchy matchy is Karen's vote. Okay, so matchy matchy. Okay, so let's create some collage paper. So I'm going to use the Arcane Impressions, and you guys are going to flip. So I'm going to set these somewhere safe. Now, for this technique, you are going to need a waterproof ink, a permanent waterproof ink. I'm going to just use VersaFine Onyx Black. And then I am going to grab a piece of tissue paper. And just for time reasons, I'm just going to rip off a small piece. So this is just tissue paper from the dollar store. And I'm going to go on the, what side did I do? I got to double check. Where did I put the piece? Yeah, you want to stamp on, there's a shiny side and a matte side. You want to stamp on the matte side. So I am going to grab some images. Yes, we won't forget those pastes. And if anything, they might be next week, but yes. I want to do something with those. So maybe that will be our card for today. We'll do we'll turn them into something. Okay. So I'm just going to stamp my image, and I'm stamping on the tissue paper. I'm just going to create a random pattern. Okay, let's just put this upside down off the page. And we'll clean that up. And this does bleed through. Actually, maybe I will clean that up now that I'm moving this around. And this would be very cool if you had the, I think I have it. The, what is the color? The sepia one. Vintage sepia. Would be cool to do in that. It's like a gray tone. Okay, I'm just going to stamp one more of these guys. Okay. Let's clean this off. Okay, and I'm going to grab another image. Let's go with the candles. Okay. So we're just creating a pattern. I'm going to try and do this quick. Okay. Okay, let's grab, I'm going to do one of the bones because they're quite small, skeletal bones. Oops. I'm going to put a fair amount of these on here. No, my dad did not draw these images. You'd have to ask Anne. I can't remember who the artist was. Okay, and I'm going to grab the little slug. And I'm going to just, this does bleed through, so just remember if you're moving stuff around. Kevin, question, could you use a stamp on the other side of the tissue paper and get a reverse image? Well, let's see. Yep, you could. Okay, I'm going to stamp the slug. Okay, I'm just trying to be quick here. And maybe I will grab, last but not least, let's just do this feather and squeeze this in wherever. Just trying to get as much of the space filled because this is going to be a collage paper. Okay, I think that's going to be good enough for now. I love the images. Aren't they very cool? Okay. Okay, so I am just going to, actually, you know what I want to do? One more thing. I'm going to go back to the background stamp. I'm going to use that same burlap one because I want to overlap. You like the noise of the stamps? Okay, I'm going to use that vintage sepia in a brown. And actually, before I do that, I should probably just set this because I do not. Let's just try and set it because I don't know if it'll pick up any of the color. So I'm just going to use this with the vintage sepia. And we're going to go, maybe I'm going to stamp off once. And I'm just going to go over top just to build. We're getting multiple generations of stamps here. I'm going to just stamp off on the edge. Just to create texture. Okay, good enough. So yes, so we're doing ASMR crafting. Thank you for joining me tonight on the mixed media. Okay, so I'm just going to clean this up. Let's heat set this. Okay, so let's I'm going to set these aside, the stamps, and go back to our thing. So I want to add something to, let's do, I think the back of this, I want to do a collage paper. And I kind of like this section. So I am going to just, and some people you can use like a water brush and wet it and you can get the tearing. I am just going to roughly cut because of time. This This doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to set that, save this. Maybe we'll use it next week. Who knows? Okay. So I am just going to take this and I'm going to just rip now. Is everything all right? Yep. Okay. So I've got this little piece here. I am going to, this is my, actually, I'm going to have to re-wet this. Maybe I need a different, I'm going to have to use a different brush because I never cleaned my brush the last time. Okay, we'll use this one. So I'm going to take my collage medium. And I'm just going to put it on the back of my piece first, just to kind of tack it down. Okay. And then I'm just going to plop it down. And it will slowly disappear or blend in. And I am going to just, now I could fold this over if I wanted onto the side, but I don't know if I want to do that. Okay. And I'm going to take this other piece and I think I'm going to just put it, let's see, my Crafty Adventure. Stephen, do you usually have a plan when you start or do you just see where the process takes you? That's what I'm doing today. I know so many people are asking me, you know, what should I have out? And as much as I like when I take classes where it's like you can prepare, I didn't want to do that because I wanted it to be kind of, the purpose of this is to have fun and to play. So experiment, get outside of your comfort zone. So as you can see, I use that piece, which the whole, oh, Kevin is putting the memory Dex QR codes on the screen. So as you can see, I just put these on. It's just going to be another layer because if we want with this, we're going to stamp some images, but we could, you know, you might want to just put a picture on this for, you know, memory keeping or whatever, but you can see how cool that is. And I'm just going to, I don't know why I just used my paper scissors. I should have used my other ones. Okay. So I'm going to clean this off right away. And you know what? Maybe I want to add, so I'm going to just, this will dry clear. So there's that. And I'm going to grab this one. And why don't we take, I'm going to grab another piece. Let's just take, here's a memory or collage paper I made another time. I'm just going to rip a piece of that off. And let's just tack the back. Let's actually, you know what? I'm just going to use this piece. But you can see I love making collage paper. It just adds Dollar store tissue paper, Joyce. And you can crinkle it up if you want it to have a bit more texture. Okay. I'm going to take the proper scissors and let's clean this off.
Julie wants to know which is the white stuff you're using.
Oh, the I am using Distress Collage Medium. If you have Mod Podge matte, Mod Podge gloss, whatever. I know so many of us crafters have Mod Podge. You can use that as well. And again, you can get Mod Podge. I know at our dollar store, you can get Mod Podge. Isn't that cool? Okay, I'm going to put that in. That's good for texture paste for now, or for collage. So this is where we're at so far. It's kind of cool. Oh, you know, we kind of need, I'm not going to do it because we're going to have so much other goodies on here. I love to decoupage. I never occurred to me to make my own pattern paper. Yes. Okay, so I am just going to heat this a little bit. I don't know if you're supposed to, but I usually do. Okay, I'm going to let those set. Okay. And I am, maybe while those are drying, Kev, could you hand me those background pieces that are over there?
This?
No.
This.
Yeah.
This? I'm gonna leave you now.
Okay. Let's play with these. So I don't know if you can see. Oh, where's the other one? There should be a gold one.
This one.
Yeah. Okay. So this one had the opaque. This will show it the most. So I am.
If you stamp here, can you turn it over and stamp on this side too?
Yeah. Okay. So actually, before here is, remember we added that embossing powder. Watch what happens. Now you might get it. It might bubble up a bit. But get your heat tool nice and warm. Yes, you can tint the medium as well if you wanted to have, like I think Tim talked about that. You could add some vintage photo to your collage medium to get a more vintagey feel. But this is going to, can you see what's happening? So we've got our embossing powder is activated. Let's do it in this one as well. This is the crackle paste. And this one is a little less noticeable, but it's definitely doing it. Yes, tint the decoupage medium. So you can put some of this on your mat. Take a little bit of it. And actually, I got to clean my mat before that sets. Put a little bit of this on your mat. Grab, like you could do scatter or antique linen. Put a bit of that on it. And then when you brush it over top, you get a tinted glaze. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take these. I'm going to grab my disgusting mixed media box. Let's start with it. And I'm going to grab some of my sprays. So I'm going to, let's go with some purple. We'll do some Villainous Potion. That's the spray stain. Do I have it in oxide? I need to find some of my colors. I do not know. Here's Wilted Violet. Okay, I'm going to just pick that and let's go with, we'll do these two. I'm going to do wild honey and wilted violet. I'm so glad you're learning. Okay. And maybe we'll just do one of these. We'll save these. Maybe we'll come back to them another time. But so this is how I like to do my background. So I have it up. My oxide, I'm using oxides for this, and they're both, mixed. So first step, I'm going to wet my paper, and I'm going to have my heat tool at the ready, and I am going to add my wild wilted violet to on here. And then I'm going to start my heat tool and start wetting it. Getting it to, and I am getting a bit of contamination. That's okay. We'll make it part of it. I'm going to go, while this is still wet and my heat tool is going on it, I am going to add some of the wild honey oxide spray. And add a bit of water. Let's get this dripping and moving down. Gotta lay it down. So I want more dripping. Yeah, let's get this right. I want to go right down. Ooh, I like how that's looking. Okay, let's dry, get this dry, but you can see there's some sparkle in there. Okay, I'm gonna take this out. I like that. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that was with the oxide sprays. I'm just going to add a bit of water just to help get things moving. Let's lift up while it's still wet. And I love that technique that what we got, those bleach spots is what I call them, or watermarks. Let's get a bit more of that going. So I'm using my heat tool to kind of speed up the process to help get that watermark effect. So you can see here, this is what we've got so far. And I love that. So I think what I want to do is let's grab, I'm going to go back to my Villainous Potion Distress ink. My Crafty Adventures, I'm just getting started with mixed mediums. I'm excited to try all the techniques. There is just so many, it never ends. I have been I got hooked on it 2 years ago, and I'm still learning. And, just by playing, you pick up different things. So just going to add the Villainous Potion on top of this, just to darken up. Yes, they'll probably still be stained purple by that time. It's kind of embarrassing. I have clients all day tomorrow, and it doesn't matter how much I wash my hands, it's stained. But I did watch a live with Tim, and he shared something that gets the staining off your fingers. And I never did check to see if I can get that here in Canada. But so I'm just going to darken because I want this to have some weight at the bottom. So I'm really going to darken this at the bottom. And I think I'm going to go in with some of my black. Or you could do vintage photo as well if you have that. So this is black soot. We're just going to really kick up. Look at that. I love what that's doing with that sparkliness of the gold. Okay. This is what we've got. I think it needs more. I want this to be almost like black, black, black right here. Yeah. I like that. Did you use hair conditioner along with soap or shampoo? Oh, I'll have to try that. Yeah, was it lava soap, Tim? I can't remember what it was, but apparently it works. Like a pumice soap or something. And okay, so I like that. What do you guys think? Part of me wants to add like a yellow to the top, but I think that let's do it. Let's try. I'm going to add some fossilized amber regular. Okay. Yeah. This is good. I like that. It needed this at the top. Okay. And I'm just going to give it a little spritz, a light spritzy spritz. Okay. Let's just lift this up. And I think that this one, maybe we'll make this into our card for today. Okay, let's start creating, actually making something. Let me just put some of this stuff away. Yeah, it is. It's giving villain vibes. I like it. Okay. Okay, so let's look at what we've got here. So we know we want this to be our card, which part of me might want to, cut a little bit off. So we might have to ink these edges again. And then we have our memory decks, which that'll go that way. So let's start creating. So I am going to, start with, let's just grab some, I think I want to use where's my stamp sets? Sorry, I am disorganized. I want to use, I love the Creep It Real. So let's stamp that. So for that, I want to use my Misty. So I'm going to start with my Sentiment. Creep It Real. Oh, is this not going to want to stick? Okay, I think that's going to stick now. Okay. So we've got greens and a bit of purples. So where's my color wheel? Sometimes I can't think. Okay. We've got here, majority of it is green. So, and we also have some purple. So I like to do complementary or triad. So we could do orange. So maybe we'll do an ombre with orange and a little bit of black, maybe. Let's do some ripe persimmon. So I'm going to use just oxide. And you know what? I don't think I ever primed this stamp. So let's take this off. And I am going to just rub it with my fingers to get this kind of primed because it's a new stamp. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, and I'm going to take just my baby wipe and just kind of soften the bottom. Okay, now where did I put my stamp press? Stamp press, where'd you go? Oh, here. Probably have to stamp this a few times. It is freeing, Karen. Oh no. Let's see. I don't know if this is, I'm going to line this up again. I'm using this sticky thing, but I might have to switch paper. You know what? Let's switch. Let's just use hammer mill instead of the mixed media stuff. This sticks better to, this is like one of those sticky mats, you know, for the Misty, so you don't have to use magnets, but apparently I do need to use magnets. Yes, channel our inner Tim Holtz. You know, mixed media, I think people think I can't do it. It really is. Our biggest obstacle is ourselves because we think we can't do things, but we really can. And mixed media is just so, it is so freeing, like Karen says. And it is just the best feeling to just, especially in the world today with so much going on, you can just create without thought, because you know I'm sure we all have lots going on in our lives, and this just it's just the best feeling to create something and not what color I need. A bottom color. Purple. What did I say? I could do black, or maybe maybe I will do, let's see what happens with aged mahogany. I'm going to do, so I'm just stamping the bottom, and I'm going to go halfway up, and then I'm going to take this baby wipe and just soften. Okay, and that's, there we go. Yes, priming the stamps is so important. So you just don't get the you know, the right effect. Okay. So we're going to start layering. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm going to start die cutting this out. So this might be, okay, where did I put my dies? Dies. I misplaced everything. Where are you? Where'd you go, dies? Oh, I think I have it over here. So what I love, if you guys got the complete bundle, is there are coordinating dies for everything. Is this the Creep It Real? Yes. So I'm going to cut that out quickly. So we've got our Creep It Real, and this I want to put, so we're going to have it layered like this. So if we do Creep It Real, and then I think we need to have one of our texture pieces. So for that, this is is when I wish I had a desk that was like 10 feet wide. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to grab my Misty, which is right here. Let's just put this on the stamp set. I want to grab that same. I really love this, and I want to repeat that behind here. So let's grab another piece of hammer mill. And let's try and stamp a few things on here. And I am so sorry this is like a crazy long video. Let me know if you want me to just finish the memory decks and then we could create cards next time, or if you're okay that it's running this long, because we are almost at 2 hours. And I think for this one, the burlap, let's do brown. Let's do gathered twigs and walnut stain. And those are kind of similar. Let's do gathered twigs and ground espresso oxides. So I'm going to do gathered twigs first. Oh, you're very welcome. I think for tonight, we'll just finish the memory decks, and then we'll come back and do the card next week. Okay, so I'm going to use ground espresso, and I'm just stamping it here and there, and I think I want to use a little bit of the black soot. As well, just to get a little bit of that in. Let's stamp this. Okay, I like how that looks. And we're going to die cut that out. Okay, and put that back. And I think I want to use the crow next. Just going to put this on the sheet. Let's grab the crow. Crow and the feather. If I can fit the feather on here. Crow. Where's that feather? Can I fit the feather? Yes, I think I can. Okay, so first thing, the crow. Let's do I'm going to stamp it in Blueprint Sketch. And then let's do some black soot. Kind of slightly over top. Let's just see what happens. It's kind of cool. Let's go back over with some of the Blueprint Sketch just over the center. I'm going to just soften the edges. I know maybe I want to add a little bit of purple. So let's do some. Where is my villainous potion? Where did I put that? Do I still have it out? Here it is. Let's just do a little bit of that over top too. Just to mix. Ooh, I like that. That's kind of cool. Actually, I kind of want to do an overlay of the purple on everything. Let's just see what happens. Yes, that's cool. Okay. And now let's do for the feather. We'll just do the same. So I'm going to just do blueprint sketch first. A bit of some black. And we'll go over it with some purple. It's very cool. Okay, let's clean this up and put these guys on here. And I am going to take these and let's die cut them out. And then I think maybe we will add some like vintage photo or something just to, we'll see, just to see if we want to grunge it up a bit. Now let's see, this goes here. And where is my, there's the feather. And the crow. Okay, let's take these down. I am so sorry this is such a long video. Okay, I'm going to quickly run these through my die cut machine. Okay, so for this is kind of, I love how it cuts the like the insides out. Got a little bit of this. Let's get some of the tape on. Could not find my washi tape, so I used painter's tape. Come on, painter's tape. There we go. Off. Okay, there we go. So I'm kind of seeing, you know, perhaps this is behind there. And then take this bird. Oh, we got some on here too. Don't use painter tape, friend. There we go. And then maybe the feather is like behind. But I want to see just a hint of our collage paper. See, this is kind of the pity when you do these things because you lose some of your backgrounds, but you still had fun making it. So I'm going to grab some, I think I'm going to do, let's see what antique linen does. This is the thing. I'm going to clean off my brush. Okay. I'm going to use some antique linen. And I'm just going to go around the edges just to dirty this up a bit. And I think we need a little bit of the vintage photo. Let's grab a brown brush. Same thing. I just want to hit just a few. Yeah, I like that better. It's not so white. And let's do the same with our Creep It Real. Just a bit though, because I still want this to stand out. A little bit of vintage photo. So this was antique linen and vintage photo. Oh, you guys are so nice. Okay. So we got that, and let's do again. We'll do 2 at a time now. Antique linen. Vintage photo. Some of these images in the stamp set, and I think I want to do a little bit of black. Some of these images you could color up too if you'd like. Where did I put my black? Actually, I'll see what's left on here. Yeah. Just to dirty this up so it's not. Yeah. And then you can just play around with placement. Okay, so if I take perhaps this, put the Creep It Real to the side. Maybe I want to tuck a bird like that, and maybe the feather off to the side. Kind of like that. And I think I want this popped up. And you know what this needs? A little bit of the Perfect Pearl splatter. We'll do a bit on the there. Okay, let's just heat that. Okay, and where did my... Here, we'll just use this just to soak up anything that... Okay, so let's pop... do I want... So the placement that is... Yeah, I think I like it. Unfortunately, it covers up our background, so much for our background, but we learned, and that's what matters. Not like we are a stalker, but this is so fun. Bonus, we are learning so much. Don't tell my brain, though. Okay, so I'm just going to glue the bottom of this burlap piece. Let's just put it kind of askew. I'm going to have it on an angle like that. Just going to commit. And you know what you could do? I'm not going to glue the top. You could just say, let me grab a photo. Not related, but you could tuck a photo in there if you want. Okay, let's pop this crow. And do I maybe want the crow? I think I want the crow to be lifted a bit. Yes, I know. Isn't that crazy, Eliza? We went from light salvage patina to this. That's where I so many people get upset when, or they get overwhelmed thinking, oh, I can't make it look like that. But just playing, and eventually you get to where you should at the end. It might not be what you initially thought, but 9 times out of 10, it's always better than you could have hoped. And you had a free heart, because I always feel like when you're creating, your heart is just free. So that is the best part of all. I'm going to just pop this little thing up. Yeah, I think I want it off the edge like that. Maybe we'll pop the crow. There we go. Yeah, so I want the crow. Now I will say a lot of this is coming off the edge, our back of our memory decks in this instance, and our images aren't going to look the nicest, but if people are looking at the back of it, judging, they shouldn't be looking at it at all. They're not welcome to. That's good. I'm glad it doesn't look anything like mine, Trey. It's your own work of art. Okay, so I'm going to just pop this, creep it real up. So I'm just going to go mad with the foam tape. Okay. There we go. And we could like embellish this with some sequins or, you know, enamel dots, whatever. I always feel like with the memory decks, they come alive when you start adding, like, just like I said, maybe this becomes a pocket where you want to insert a photo, or you want to take a piece of candy or something, a wrapper from a candy you got at Halloween, you know, tuck it in there. Now this piece is bugging me right here, so I'm chopping that off. There we go. That's better. All right. So, and you know, let's just, I want to add some sparkle. Just going to add a few of these rhinestones, because it needs a little something something. So a little zhuzhing. Okay, I'm just going to do 3. Oh, jute twine would be amazing, and I don't have any. That would be perfect. Actually, do I have a bit of the, do you have this gold thread? Oh, that's what that needs. I wonder if I can tuck it. I wonder if I could lift. Okay, I'm going to glue those down because I do like that, but let's just glue these guys down. Okay. Let's see if, I wonder if I can get this. You know what? On our second layer, so here's our first layer. And I think for the second layer, yeah, maybe we'll use some of the twine. We'll use some of this on the second layer. Liking how this, we're getting there, ladies and gentlemen. But what do you guys think of, you know, picture tucks? I think that would be really cool. in this to have a little picture tuck or some kind of tuck in there. Okay, so let's work on our second piece. I'm gonna grab some more hammer mill. Okay. Let's see here. And I don't know if the comments are still working or if they're really delayed. Just gonna put this stuff on before I lose it. Okay. All right. Let's work on our second. So I want to do, I think I want to do You've Got Spirit next. So where did I put my stamp set? So let's do, I love this, potion bottle. I want to do that. I love the feather again. Why don't we do the feather? The cauldron. We got to do the cauldron. Let's do the bone. Let's use the other bone because we use that on our paper. Okay, and the slug. I'm doing the gel plate demo next week, Joyce, because we're already we're 2+ hours into this, and I'm sure people are sick of me. So I'm going to do these guys. So actually, I could probably spread this out. Let's put this over here. Okay, I'm going to start with the, let's do a green. We'll do mowed lawn for the potion bottle. And I'm going to add, this is mowed lawn, all oxide. And let's just do a little bit of purple on there. Let's stamp this. That's cool. I love that. Okay, let's clean that and remove as we go. And I am sorry if this feels disorganized, but this is just kind of how my brain works when I'm creating. So let's do a pink feather. So I'm going to go with saltwater taffy, and let's pick a red. So let's do barn or fired brick. Okay. Let's stamp that. And you know what? I feel like that needs some black. So we're going to add a little bit, or let's do ground espresso. Just to darken that, and maybe I want a little bit of the fired brick. Okay, let's remove that. It is the best bottle of poison ever. Let's do our cauldron. So let's do it in wild honey, and then I'm going to overstamp with some black because I want it to feel like it's like glowing. Okay, so there, and then we're going to do some ground espresso. And then I'm going to go into black. Let me just put some of these stuff away. And you know, maybe this is looking too much like a honey pot. So let's go in with some twisted citron in the top here, just to dull that down. I know the stamps are just so fun, and I love, like, you know, I love coloring, but sometimes it's just so nice to just stamp and not have to think about coloring. And I'm just going to put a bit under there. I use my finger just to press underneath the rim. Look at that. Oh my God, I love how that turned out. Okay, perfect. It almost looks like an old bronze cauldron. Starting to make up in my head what, you know, the witch. Let's go for the bone. Let's do shabby shutters, which is a bit of a green, but I want to dull this down after. So shabby shutters, and let's pick tea dye. And I think we'll do a little bit of, where is that? Gathered twigs. Okay, and then once we ink blend this over, that'll be perfect. I'm going to go back with the tea dye for the slug. We'll do some gathered twigs. I'm going to just soften with my finger. And let's go in with some black soot. And again, I'm just going to soften, tap off. There we go. Okay. And then I want to use one of those texture stamps. So I'm going to pick the other one because we haven't used that yet. So let's use this guy. And for this one, what is our background? So we have purple. So maybe let's go back with let's go with sponge sugar. We almost had a spider, Julie, but we axed it. And I think I was the one that axed it. So I use sponge sugar. I'm going to do a little bit of the villainous potion. And let's do some, I don't know, this is calling me the twisted citron. Let's just see what happens. And don't worry if you contaminate. You just take a scrap piece of paper, rub it off, and your stamp's good, or your pad's good. Okay, let's stamp this. Ooh, that's cool. Okay, now I'm going to go in with twisted citron all over. And then I might go in with some gathered twigs as well. Just, or you know what? I think it needs some black soot. Yes, that's what it needed. Yeah, exactly. The multi stepping or using multicolors to stamp. And with the oxide, you don't really have to worry about contamination. And if you have a Misty, you can just multi-stamp. Okay. Let's see here. Let's quickly die cut these suckers. Okay, let me just pull this out. Ooh, she down good. Okay. So we need this for this one. And I love that these have dies to cut out the background. Okay, I'm going to just, ouch, that ripped hair off my arm. Okay. Okay, there's 1, 2, the potion bottle, or poison, we should say. Okay. And we'll get the cauldron, and I love that the this cuts out the center. I think today, because we are already 20 minutes or 2 hours and 22 minutes in, we'll just do the memory decks. And then if you want, we can do, this can be part of the cards next week with the gel print. Because I want this to be something that people can rewatch. Yes, it's true. It's nice seeing these stamps used because, well, even with the, images that you have to color, sometimes you just need to see what people create. Because there's been times where I've seen a stamp set come out and I'm like, oh, I don't really like that. But when you see it used, and you get that inspiration, it's so much, all of a sudden you can see what, let's see, I need a feather right here. Okay. Yeah, I love how the cauldron came out too, just by smooshing. It just looks, yeah, I love it. Thank goodness for oxide inks. And if you have the oxide minis that just came out, you could easily just, if you wanted the top of this bottle to be, like a cork color, you could do that. It's much easier with a smaller ink pad. Just going to run this through my die cut machine. Okay, so I'm going to pop out these images. My die shifted a little bit, but whatever. It'll still be cool. Okay, I'm going to just set this down for now. Okay, let's just get rid of, I got some tape on there. Okay, so let me grab this. We have this one. Let's just kind of figure out. Looking at the back of this, it's kind of given me an idea. So I think I want this to be the tuck. So this can tuck in like that. And you could journal on the back of it, attach a photo. And I definitely want the bone to come out of here. Let me just, I'm going to take my X-Acto knife. Sorry, I always, for safety, I take the blade out in case Kevin decides he wants to shank me one day. I'm going to just cut. There we go. I'm going to just cut, or I just made a little slit. And get that tape off. I think I want to pop this in. Now we're going to have to ink blend this like we did the others. Yes. This needs to be more of a slit. Okay. Yeah, so I can see that kind of like in there coming out. Oh, you know what? I didn't stamp the, we've got, I want to use, I need one of the word sentiments. So, and then we've got maybe like a slug. Okay, let's stamp the, you've got spirit. And I need a piece. Let's use this one. Okay. You've got spirit. And what color do I want to do? Let's do my favorite. Let's do some salvage patina and we'll do some black soot. First, I'm going to stamp it in salvage patina. Very cool. And you know what? Maybe I want to do, to tie in some of that purple, let's do the villainous potion and then maybe some black soot. Yes, I like that. And I'm going to try and do you've got in black. Let's just see. Or you know what? Why don't I just go like this to protect that. Okay, take that off. Where's my ink press? God, oh God, I've got so much stuff. This desk is a disaster. Okay. Yeah, I like how that looks. That's perfect. Okay. Let's just pick this up. Die cut that. I need to find the you've got spirit. Where did I put that? Die. Okay. You've got, is it this one? Yes. Thank you. That means a lot coming from the masking king himself, Mr. Timothy. Okay, let's just run this through my die cut machine. I'm trying to do it without tape. Okay. I expect pictures, Trey. Oh, I love how that turned out. I really love this. Like it just yes, crafter math, 100%. Okay. So let's grab our, if I can even find, we used, where did you go? I think we used these. Yes. Okay. So let's get these all perfect. So we'll start with our antique linen. Really don't want to antique linen. Okay, let's do all our edges. Oops, I got some green tape. That can just be part of it. It's part of the mixed media painter's tape. Okay. We'll do this one as well. I'm just inking around the edges. Okay, let's switch to our vintage photo. Just going to try and get some where they're more dark. Oh, and I never did the cauldron. I got to do that. Okay. Okay, let's just pull this bone. Okay, vintage photo. Where did that bone go? Here we go. Oops, that's the wrong, that's vintage photo. Whatever. Go with it. That's what we'll do. Okay, and some black soot. Where's my black? There we go. Kevin is going to have a field day when he sees The Office tomorrow. So just going around edges with a bit of black soot. Just to kind of almost get this, it's like it's ephemera. I don't know. That's what my mind is telling me. Okay, good. Let's get this together. So I want this to be my tuck. Like that, I think. And let's do, oh, we got to get the, where did the bone go? Let's put this bone inside this cauldron. Okay, and let's glue it. Just so, I don't think it's going to pop out, but whatever. This is perhaps the witch or wizard is using this bone to stir the cauldron. And let's put, you've got spirit. I want this here. Perhaps that, like that. And maybe this feather is tucked up like that. Something like so. And you know what? I don't even know if I want this to be a pullout. I think I'm just going to put it down, glue it, because I like that. What does the back look like? Maybe I don't want to. Maybe, yeah. You know what? I'm going to glue it stuck in because you could tuck something even in behind here. I'm not going to glue the entire back, just the bottom portion. And I'm going to just, as much as I'd like to have it hanging out and over, I'm not going to do that because it's not going to look pretty from the back. Okay, let's get this. And you know what? Let's put this, we'll put that on after. Let's get this cauldron on. Stuff that like so. Yeah, I want it off just a little bit. What, do you throw your unwanted or parts pieces on the floor when crafting in a bin? Yes, I do. I am bad for that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to tidy up for the weekend, Joyce. You'll be like, what the heck when you come over? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna put this potion bottle like that. I want to pop up the You've Got Spirit, and I think I want to offset it. So I'm just going to pop, and pop. Let's get this off. We always need some texture and dimension. I gotta pop it up. And let's put that like so. And we'll put this little sluggy guy. Do I want him popped up? I think I do. No, I think I do. I'm going to just do a little bit of a pop-up. Okay. Okay, let's just pop this little slug like he's crawling on there. And then I think I'm going to glue the feather like so. I'm going to just pop it like that. And then we have something we can tuck here, something we can tuck here. Where, let me grab that photo. So we could tuck a photo or a note, another something in here if we wanted. So there we've got, and look at how cool that looks together. Oh my God, I was not planning on that, but I love that. You can see the potion bottle, the bone, boop, boop. And I think I'm going to leave this back. Thank you very much, Jana. I think I'm going to leave this back for next week when we do some of our gel plate, because maybe we're going to want to add something. So maybe I will do, why don't we turn this into a card quickly? If you guys are okay with that, I've got like 20 minutes. And my phone is saying I have 20% battery, so I better be kind of quick. So let's quickly make a card. And then we can say we've done 2.5 memory decks and a card. Yeah, I want to cut this down. My go-to for cards is 4.25 by 5.5, but I sometimes like to just do a map. So I'm going to cut, I want to cut about, see, I like the black around this. I might have to do some ink blending. Let's first start by cutting 1/4 inch off each side. Sometimes you got to sacrifice your card and hope for the best. So that was 1/2 inch. So, and I love this bottom piece, so I don't want to lose that. So I'm going to cut from the top here, if any of this is making sense. So 5. So I'm going to go to 5. Okay, so we have a card that is 3 3/4 by 5 is what this piece is. And I am going to go back in with my Distress ink and black soot. And I just want to kick up the darkness of the black here. Let's just re-ink. Okay. All right. All right. Well, I'm so glad you guys are liking it. And you know what this is? I have this piece of black here. I wonder what it would look like on, you know, it kind of, I need purple. Let's grab a piece of purple cardstock. I'm going to just go with this because I feel, yes, that's it. Okay. So I'm going to cut a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. 4 1/4, and this is going to be my base. And let me clean this up actually, because I don't want to get. Okay. So I want to put, so I got about 1/4 inch all the way around. Julie and I have 3 of your distress inks here, but I'll bring them in. Okay, Tim Holtz has trained you well with your long. Yeah, sorry. All right, so for, I don't know, what do we want to do? Let's do, let's do it's kind of given like happy haunting. So let's do that. Let me grab another piece. Where did I put my Misty? There we go. Okay. Paper in. Ooh. I never clean this, shoot. I'm aiming to have this done in 3 hours. So we've got like 17 minutes. If I can complete this card in 17 minutes, I will have done a good amount in 3 hours. So let's do Happy Haunting. And let's do the Witch's Hat, because I feel like this is a witchy card or a wizardy card. So we'll do the Wizard Hat and, oh, you know what? I don't want to do, let's do, you know what? Let's do the candle. Happy Haunting. Let's do the candle. I want to save the Witch's Hat for something else. Let's do that Slug Friend again. That's too close. And I love how this one turned out on the other one. So let's use this. We might not use it because it will cover up. You know what? We can always cut it down in size and use part of it. Okay. So let's start with the Happy Haunting. I want to go with, let's do Squeezed Lemonade. I'm going to do the ombre thing again. Okay. And I probably should have primed. Okay. So happy hunting. Let's do some wild honey. And I'm going to use just a paper towel. Just pick up some. Okay, and I think we need a, what do we want? Let's go with a, where is that one I used? Aged mahogany. I don't know where I put that sucker. Okay, I can't find it. Let's just grab, we'll use scorched timber. Okay, I like that. And then at the bottom, I liked how we did kind of like the or like the was in black, the one word. So let's see if I can get this to, okay, boop, boop. Sorry, I'm off camera. And I'm just going to, where is, okay, that's cool. Here's where we are with that. And I think I want just a hint of some of the black and the happy, just to tie it all together. Yes, that's what that needed. Perfect. Love that. Okay, I need another baby wipe. Where did I put the baby wipes? Yeah, you're an early to bed person, kind of like me, and early to rise, Joyce. Okay, let's do the candles. Let's just do the top. Gonna stamp them in squeezed lemonade. Let's just, oops, I took off some of the, okay. And a little bit of carved pumpkin. Let's just do, okay. And let's do scorched timber on the bottom, and we'll just soften. Okay. Okay. Now let's go back in with squeezed lemonade. I think I'm going to have to add a little bit of black soot to the top, or black soot. I'm going to just see what happens. Okay, we'll make it work. I'm going to just actually, let's just do some fossilized amber up here. Okay. And I am not liking, yeah, you guys are in California, right, Meliza and Betty? Or Meliza, are you in Vegas? I can't remember. Okay. Now let's do the slug. Just put him in a, this is scorched timber. And now for the background. See, I don't know if I want to, well, Well, we'll just do it, and if we don't use it, we don't use it. So let's go with, I'm just gonna see what happens with antique linen. This is the regular distress. Probably won't be much of anything. And let's do vintage photo. Okay. And let's do some black soot. Okay. Okay. Just going to clean that off. We'll grab it another time because I doubt I'm going to make my deadline of having this done in under 3 hours. I'm close though, people. Let's grab this. Get this here. Okay, and the happy, I think this is happy haunting. Perfect. Candles. I kind of wish I would have done the witch's hat. Oh my gosh, my phone's at 10%. Am I going to make it? Where's the candles? Here. And the slug. Let's see if I can adjust this. There, I got it to there. Let's hope that starts charging the battery. Not that. Okay. Really love how these sentiments look when you mix the ink colors on it. I'm going to do a close up. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Just look at. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm doing a sloppy job of taping. Let's just hope for the best, people. Okay. So wish you were going to the retreat, Stephen. Then this could do this. I know. I'm so sad to be missing Muppets. No, I'm not going to have you guys here all night, Betty. I'm doing my best to... Okay, Happy Haunting. That one's kind of crooked, but whatever. It is a handmade card. How do I want to do this? Or maybe I want it to be a landscape card. And then maybe Mr. Slug. Sorry, I've missed some comments here. Okay. Let's see if I use this. We cover up our background. So maybe we cut it and just use a snippet of it. Let's just be reckless and cut it. Yeah, I think that's good. Now let's try and tie this in, because right now it's feeling very disjointed color-wise. We've got purples. Okay, so what do I want to do? Distress ink. I'm going to see what happens when we use some Kitsch Flamingo. Where's my pink blending brush? Here. Some Kitsch Flamingo. And we're going to have to obviously do some brown on this to dirty it up a bit wherever I put my brown. So we'll use some vintage photo. Okay. And I don't know if I love how the Kitsch Flamingo went, but I think for the others we'll do the usual antique linen. But for this at the top, I'm going to try and we'll add some, let's see if we add some yellow. Where is my oxide in yellow? I wonder if there's anything on here. Yeah, that didn't do much of anything. This card might be a return to sender. Where is, there we go. And we need some black as well. So let's use a bit of the what's left of the Kitsch Flamingo. And a bit of black in Distress. Oh, I forgot our little slug friend. Yeah, I've loved everything except this one so far, but we'll see if we can make this one work. I think this needs a little bit of yellow in the center and maybe some splatter. Okay, let's put that here. We put Happy Haunting, the candle set, perhaps like that. And yeah, and then maybe we'll use a bit of this gold thread. Okay, so let's glue this piece down. Okay, I'll glue that right on here. Okay. And I think I need more glue. When you have, this is the texture paste piece, so sometimes you need much more glue than you expect to get it to stay. But I'm even okay if it's kind of up a bit. Okay, I'm going to curl at the edges. And we'll put our, I think I'm going to pop this candelabra up. Let's just pop this up. Then we can have our happy haunting, like so. So, oops. Happy haunting. So I need to pop up this back piece. Let's glue. Oh, and you know what we need? Our gold thread. I'm going to just take this, wrap it around my hand a bunch of times. Let's just cut it, mess it all up. Yes, okay. I'm going to add a bit of glue behind this. And on here, let's fix that. And then maybe we pop our little slug friend up. Okay, and then let's glue this on the back. Let's glue this down about 1/4 inch all around. If you wanted, you could really even pop that up too, but there is already a lot of dimension on this card. And I think last but not least, I want to add, I'm going to use this. I'm going to pick up let's just put a bit of gold in those flames, and we'll just tap. And there we go. Happy haunting, a card. So tonight we've got our cool memory decks, which let me grab my memory decks folder. We can pop them in. So let's just pop these guys in. Get this in one-handed. There we go. So we have our memory decks. Our first one, Creep It Real. Again, we have some cool tuck-ins on this, and then we'll do something with the back of this next time. Let me just take these out. So 1 memory decks. Because I doubled this one up, it is definitely going to be good for life. So yeah, we got our 2 memory decks cards for memory keeping and a Halloween card using our, what is it, Arcane Impressions, and what is the other one called? Arcane Impressions, and why can't I think of the other one's name? Kevin can maybe put it in the comments. But I hope you guys had fun. We've crafted for 3 hours and 5 minutes. OMG. I want to thank you for joining me. And I will see you next Monday. And we're going to do some gel print. And I don't know if we'll create as many projects, but we'll probably do the back of this one. Maybe make another little memory decks or a cards, maybe two projects next week. And then last week we'll just play around, and I've got a couple of fun ideas I want to share. So thank you for everyone who tuned in for this live long video. And I will see you next week. Happy hunting.